Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics. This is London calling. London calling. Are you receiving?
London, this is Norfolk. Can confirm that I am receiving. You are receding. And that's just your hairline. And that's,
No, no one's going to believe that wasn't rehearsed, but that wasn't rehearsed.
No. I mean, that's the problem is I've used up all my entertainingness in one line, and the rest of this episode's going to be shit.
No, I don't believe that, mate.
Not at all. Drew, how are you, mate? Lovely to see you.
I'm great. I'm really good. Thank you, mate. I'm surviving and thriving. Yourself?
Yeah, just about the same, mate. Lots going on. Busy, overworked, or not overworked, but working bloody hard. But loving life as ever. It's what we do. It's what we do.
It's what we do. So we do it. Wouldn't have it any other way.
No. And I have to say, as always, the best way to end the week is to have a bit of a chat with me old mate. It's the highlight of my week, mate.
Same here, buddy. Same here.
And good. I'm not just saying that because I was taking the piss out of the fact that your hair's all gone.
That's all right. Don't you worry, mate. You don't worry. Give it a little bit longer, and I shall be reciprocating with that line.
But anyway, so come on then. Let's get down to brass tacks, as they say. What's in the news, mate? Let's do the usual. Let's have a bit of a natter about what
I will turn to my notes, mate. Now, I had a little delve around, and there's a few little bits and pieces. We would like to just we always do it. It's a little bit sad, but we did lose a wonderful actress, Josephine Melville, passed away, and particularly touching because she actually died at Nottingham Playhouse. She passed away after a performance of 9 Nights. I suppose it's very sad. She was a very talented actor. She was very young. Everybody goes far too young, we can say that. But she was an incredible actress. She was particularly, I know, a great ambassador for Black actors, for Black work, for female actors. But I do want to say one thing. I mean, we obviously send our condolences to friends, colleagues, and family, but also a special mention we should make and has been made because it was a very difficult, very stressful time for the theatre, given the way that Josephine passed away. And great comments and references have been made to how the crew and the staff handled a very stressful and very difficult situation. They have been complimented, and I think that should be mentioned because, very often, I know myself that at performances, people have been taken ill in one performance. Someone was rushed to hospital, and for crew and staff, front of house staff, they handle a lot of difficult situations, and they very rarely get complimented. Maybe they shouldn't be seen because that's their job, is to do that thing in a professional manner. But given this awful situation for Josephine and her family, but also how professionally the staff handled it, so good for them. It helps, obviously. If something is dealt with very professionally, it helps to smooth over something that is very sad. So we'll compliment the staff, and we will remember the great talent of Josephine Melville, and yes, R.I.P. Josephine. On to something lighter. The UK Theatre Awards took place a few days ago.
Yes, indeed.
And I've got a few congratulations. I'm not going to go too far, but congratulations to Best Performance in a Play to Giles Terrera for The Meaning of Zong. That was a Bristol Vic production. Best Performance in a Musical. Congratulations to Davina De Campo for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And that was a Leeds Playhouse and home co-production.
Mm-hmm.
And something that is close to my heart at the moment, because I've just done the Halloween children's shows, and we've got the Santa's Grotto, which is very children centric for me this Christmas. Obviously, Panto is a big, children friendly production, but best show for children and young people was something I think is great. Is the Fantastically Great Women Who Changed the World, which is a fantastic title, fantastic subject. And so congratulations to Kenny Wax Family Entertainment for that. That was a Mayflower Studios production as well, co-production. So they did very well. But there was one award, and it was given for achievement in dance. And I just think the reason it was given to Ballet Rambert, and the description of the award and the reasons why, I think it says it all. It's something that we all strive to. But
yeah,
it was given, achievement in dance was given to the dancers of Rambert for their ability to inhabit any choreographer's vision as a company of unique, versatile, and incredibly skilled performers.
Wow.
Isn't that a wonderful reason to win an award?
I mean it's almost poetic, isn't it? The way that's phrased.
And it's what we all want to win an award for being talented, versatile, and being able to take on a choreographer's or director's vision. So I just think the dancers of Rambert, congratulations, but also congratulations for pretty much nailing what we all as performers want to do. I mean, I think
what we should do, Drew, is raise a glass and cheers to all the award winners. However, I don't want to steal their thunder in any way, but I get the feeling that I'm going to really regret taking the piss out of your hair when I raise my glass. And apologies to anyone not on YouTube. We seem to say this far too often because this won't have quite the impact, but I'm sure Drew will be able to what's the word, like subtitles basically, but not. It's not audio description, isn't it? When you
audio description, yeah.
So I think that job will fall to you, Drew. As I raise my glass. So
good Lord, mate. I mean, we have had in earlier episodes a pink monstrosity. Ladies and gentlemen, this can only be described as a cross between Day Nurse and the pink monstrosity. It's very pink.
It's fluorescent, actually. I didn't realize quite.
Halloween's finished, buddy. It's gone. You don't have to drink weird potions. What is it?
No.
What is it? What are you drinking?
It's like a fizzy summer fruitsy thing, like sugar-free and yeah, but.
Well, it's certainly not colour-free, is it? Look at it. Look at that.
It's not. Honestly. I think there might be some additives in there. But anyway, cheers to award winners.
Bouncing off the ceiling
into an absolute mess this episode. Anyway, cheers to those who've won awards. Well done. Yeah, I know you're with the normal mug. Yeah.
I'm with the Drewling Samantics black coffee, mate. I'm you know where you stand.
Yeah. Cheers. So
I know. Congratulations to all those. Now a couple of little sort of interesting things. One thing that happened to me, and I'm not going to mention names, but something that occurred this week that made me think about how performers are affected by the political climate. We were doing some casting for our Christmas Grotto.
Yeah.
And an agent that we had been dealing with contacted us and said, "Are you still casting? Because we have an actor who is finishing a job, was about to start a job, and they were going off to Lapland in Finland to work.
Yeah.
However, the Finnish government have taken it into their minds to not grant visas for UK passport holders for this job. So,
what, like blanket ban on any UK performer?
Well, the line was from the agent that for this job, the Finnish government are refusing to grant visas for English passport holders. So I'm taking it that any English actor that is working on this job, and certainly the actor concerned, has been refused a visa, so has lost the work. and they were about to fly out in a week's time to start work.
We always say we try not to get too political. This podcast is not about forcing views upon people and being particularly driven in one way or another, but you can't help but go Brexit strikes again, can you? Really? I mean,
I haven't had it affect me directly or known people, but in this instance, we're dealing with an agent, and this agent is obviously gone. Our client has lost work, you guys, but that is so blatant that job is that they have lost their work because they can't work because of a visa situation. Now I don't know how much more that is going to happen in the future. It's got to be affecting, I mean, I don't know how many, UK passport holders were working on that particular job and how that is affecting them, but they've obviously lost their work. Yeah. And if you are a young performer and you've got X number of weeks work, I mean, I know if I lost my Christmas work, which I did during lockdown, how that affected me. I lost a lot of income.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I say noticed, it's sort of something you'd only sort of hear of vaguely, but I know of a lot of actors, or at least quite a few performers, who are now getting dual nationality passports. Are looking to ancestry, obviously quite close, like grandparents and stuff, but looking for Irish and other things to enable them to be able to work abroad.
I know several, myself. Yeah, it's true.
It's just made things quite difficult, shall we say?
And it's difficult enough to find work when you have to then go through paperwork to keep the work. That's even more frustrating. I did feel very sorry. I mean, I don't think there's anything as our casting we can do, but I'm certainly going to sort of say, point them in the right direction. But how sad, how very annoying, But
it is, and I guess we have to go, well, positive there that this young performer may be getting a job with you or maybe working with you, so at least there's a sort of a happy,
fingers crossed,
every cloud has a silver lining sort of thing, but shouldn't have to go through those sort of things. And
the terrible worry though, if you finished a job, you think you've got a job to go to, and then he's gone, and through no fault of your own, through no, it's not the company's gone broke, it's nothing wrong, blah, it's that you actually have got a country's gone, no.
And I guess you can't even sort of blame that country, because
they can do it, I mean, whether they've done it to so that they can employ their own performers, I can sort of kind of understand that, but that wouldn't have occurred several months ago, a couple of years ago. But there we go. It's a good job that all our politicians though are working hard, isn't it, Sam? For our benefit.
That's
where I'm going with this,
that's not a leading statement at all, is it?
Not at all, mate. Not at all.
Now, this is, and I know you are king of the news when it comes to Drewling Samantics, but I do believe that I know what you're referring to there. Or
you do indeed, Sam. You do indeed.
What's the word? Sort of alluding to. Could this be something to do with the fact that very recently it has been announced that a certain, I'm going to use the word buffoon. I don't know why that one in particular sprang to mind.
I think you're being kind, but go on.
Yeah. A certain politician somehow has wangled his way into appearing on a certain fairly well-loved I was going to say game show. It's not a game show. It's a reality show, isn't it, really? The celebrity reality show. Should we delve into the fact that a certain Mr. Hancock is going
Nick
in the jungle?
Hancock, yes. Yeah. Loud and proud. Going into, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I mean, please. Yeah. Shouldn't he be doing his job? I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Literally.
I mean, probably he's thought to himself, look, the country is on such an even keel at the moment. Everyone's working. We're all making so much money. No one's panicked about anything. You
Nothing's
know,
going on.
nothing's going on. It's very, very quiet. You know, my political party is stable. I know what I'll do. I'll bugger off into the jungle and build up my own PR because he didn't get a bloody job in the cabinet anyway. So,
I mean, where do you go with that? Moments ago, we did say we try not to be too political. Not doing very well at that thus far. But that said, I mean, what class is as a celebrity now? Someone that ends up on the front page for having an affair and breaking rules that they were on TV telling the nation they should. Anyway, we're in the past.
You know what it is, Sam. Just to wind this up for Mr. Hancock, just to, because I think he's obviously got to the stage where he's talked enough bollocks, so he's now going to go into the jungle to eat them. There you go.
Wow. Yeah. It's
Sorry.
What do you say about that? Like, just do your fucking job, you pillocks. Don't
exactly.
Anyway. Yeah. Do you know?
Anyway,
it's interesting that you mention I'm a celeb, and I don't mean specifically I'm a celeb. Weird thing to say. What I actually mean is it's interesting that you mention something that could be considered almost not background TV, but it's one of those things. I've never really been that into it personally. I mean, first season a bit, quite like a lot of things like Big Brother and Pop Idol or Pop Stars or whatever came first, and X Factor. When they first start, because they're so fresh and new, you're kind of like intrigued. And I think the more and more they go on, it gets dragged out a bit. And some people still sort of watch them religiously, binge on them, and follow them without fail. My attention span doesn't last like that. I don't think I get through a season or two maybe, and then they sort of go, well, this is all just the same shit again and again. But it's something that people do treat as a way of winding down, something that you can put on and you can watch and you can immerse yourself in, and it doesn't require necessarily too much concentration or you don't have to use too many brain cells or whatever. So, and it's interesting that this has come up because I actually wanted to talk to you about that side of life as a performer, because I think it's quite an interesting subject in that we are very, very lucky that we adore what we do. Our jobs are our lives, and it's great. But equally, and the reason I think it's important to ask you about this is because you are so busy at the moment, that it is imperative that you do find those moments to almost switch off, to kind of go into standby mode, chill, and not just let your brain cool down after it's been working overtime for silly amounts of hours in the day. And as I say, I'm a Celeb sort of sprang that to mind because I think a lot of people use that or similar things like that, like basically crappy TV. I'm not saying necessarily I'm a Celeb is. It doesn't appeal to me necessarily, but it's one of those things that, like I say, you don't have to concentrate too much. You can have it on in the background and not think too much. But equally, it's a way of just relaxing, chilling out.
I take your point, because it is that kind of, you don't want anything you do. I mean, yes, I am working very hard at the moment. I'm at long hours, and I am a sort of person that I do get slightly stressed, and I do need to get away from it, and I'm not able actually time wise to sort of leave the house, go to the gym or anything like that, because time is not allowing me. So I do use I use television to kind of just bubblegum for the eyes, for the brain, for an hour or something. As you know, I'm an average. I like to read, but if I just want to switch off, but I think just switching off, taking if I can grab a half an hour, I try and chill out. What I'll probably end up doing is falling asleep for half an hour, taking a power nap. But even that is important,
Yeah.
And just taking that time to get away, because I think it's almost unhealthy to do too much, physically unhealthy as well as mentally unhealthy to not switch off. We all like to concentrate and work and power through things. And there have been a couple of days recently where simply there haven't been enough hours in the day. So Verona and I have worked pretty much right the way through, a couple of hours sleep, if that. But you come out the other side, you go, that was good, that worked. Now I can step away from that just for an hour or so, just let that go. Even a little bit of self-congratulations, even just having a glass of wine and going, that was great, we did that all right, that was, tick the boxes, have a glass of wine, sit down, stare at the wall for half an hour, and then power back up again. It's very rare that that I complain about working too much, but I'm not complaining, but I think I'm agreeing with you in so much as it is very important to get that downtime, to be good to one's self. I mean, I know you're touring. It's what you're doing at the moment is asking quite a lot of the actor's brain.
Yes.
And also playing what you're doing. I think we spoke about it briefly last time. You're challenging yourself, and you've got to step away from that. You've got to give, because you're not giving yourself time to rest. You're not then consequently passing that on to an audience. And I think if you take your stress into almost any work situation, but particularly for an actor, if you take that on stage with you, you're not giving of yourself. And I know at the moment if I'm doing some casting and if I'm not thinking about it and being rested and clear-headed, I could make a mistake. Not only for me, but for a performer I'm dealing with. So, for me, getting that downtime, taking that just a few minutes wherever one can, is very important. Do you remember when we had Erin Geraghty and Paul Lavers join us?
Yeah.
And they very much like, very much like lots of successful performers. They work as a couple, they work separately, but they made a very good point. And Aaron, I think it was Aaron, made a very good point. Like, always find time for yourself. Be yourself. Being an actor and being a performer, whatever, is not the be all and end all. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Find a little moment of you in there. And I think that's what I try and do with my downtime, is be good to me. And if that means putting my feet up and having a cup of coffee, glass of wine, reading a book for half an hour, it has to be done.
I think you need you time. You need to avoid burning out. You need to switch off. You need to have that variety and that almost escape to make sure that you don't just destroy yourself, essentially. And that's quite over the top, maybe, but you can get to a stage. I mean, it's almost inevitable, and it seems odd to say it, having had the unwelcome guest with us over the past couple of years, but almost traditionally you get ill doing panto. That's essentially because, albeit it's a wonderful time of the year, and it's one of the most enjoyable. I mean, both you and I absolutely adore doing panto, but when you look at the amount of shows you do in the space of time and the dense nature of how much you're doing, you do burn out. And it's very, very common for people to be unwell or to to just get to this stage where you do feel so tired, so worn out, because you're doing so much. And it's finding that happy medium as much as you can, to take the time when you do get those odd days off in that period to go, no, I need some me time. I really need to step away and go, I cannot stay at this level, like literally permanently. It does often result in people not being ill necessarily, but it's the being run down because you've been doing so much and your body just goes, you've driven me hard, so I can't kind of fight off this thing that I would normally just take in my stride. So you perhaps are more susceptible to something like a cold or whatever.
I also think it's good for the quality of your work as well, because I mean, there's nothing worse than working and then beginning to resent not having any time because you're working hard. If you take a break, then you can go, okay, I can keep, I'm enjoying it now. But there's if you don't reward yourself with something like a little break, like a little holiday after a long stretch of panto or whatever, take a little break. If you don't do that, then the work you can get stagnant, you can get complacent, as you say, overtired, run down, mentally, fragile, and then that's not helping anyone, I don't think.
No, it's funny because you say if you don't reward yourself with sort of like a little holiday after panto. I mean, the industry has taken it upon itself to sort of reward all of us that do panto by going, right, January you're going to have fuck all, because it's just dead. So
there ain't no work in January.
Yeah, it's not through lack
very
of want,
true.
that's for sure. But, no, it's highly important. I mean, I'm not necessarily a big reader. Shock horror, people out there, that I don't read a great deal. But I too would, maybe it's Netflix or maybe it's, I don't know, catching up with the football or something, but just having that time to kind of sit and almost vegetate and not allow my brain to go, right, no, we'll just switch on one little brain cell at the front and that's it. But it's equally important to get that time. And there will probably be people out there that go, what the fuck are you on about? You don't do a 9 to 5. You just flounce about on a stage, or you jump around in front of a camera or whatever. But just because we love what we do doesn't mean that we don't work hard, and that it is a demanding job. And it's hugely demanding. Filming schedules or rehearsal schedules or whatever. And that's just the primary thing you're doing at that time, let alone the constantly looking for other castings and opportunities and keeping things up to date and doing. I mean, you and I are both big examples of variety. We both do lots of voiceover work, and I'll go off and do some modeling bits in between, and you might do some commercial work or whatever, just because the one main thing we're doing at a certain time isn't Monday to Friday 9 to 5. Doesn't mean we haven't got other stuff going on. And at the same time, obviously, I'm not saying that people that have that regularity of a job and have normal, or what was it, Callum called them muggle jobs. I'm not taking anything away. Everyone has stresses and strains. What we're saying is we all have to have those moments. Just at times for people in the performance world, it can be a little bit more difficult to find those moments because work is more sporadic and not as routine, or you don't have a similar regime, shall we say. So
I mean, the unpredictability and the insecurity kind of is fun. But it can, as you say, if you can't predict when you're going to be working, and you have no security, that can not only affect yourself, but people who have families and commitments in that respect. You think, I know people who have gone, I'm not going to take a job for a couple of weeks or a month because I've got to spend time with my family. Or, a friend of mine has just had a baby, not himself. But he's he and his wife, they've just had and he's going, that's it. I'm not, I've got to take some time out.
It's. I mean, I wonder if if things like this, perhaps some people might listen and go, well, it doesn't matter that you're actors or performers. This is the same for everyone. And I completely agree. It is.
It is.
Just trying to get a slightly different spin on it and go, actually, our world is a bit different, a bit mad, a bit unique. But I mean, we set out with this podcast from day one to kind of say to people, do you want to know what actually happens in the performance world? It's not all Oscars ceremonies and tabloids trying to expose your life. It's a very interesting, unique, and unpredictable world, but it's always entertaining in name, purpose, and nature, I guess. So that was beautifully put. Entertaining in name, nature, and I like that. It was that good that you can't remember what I
can't remember it now. No. I'm losing my hair and my mind. Yeah, that's
yeah. It's as that line goes back, is it pulling the brain cells?
Pulling the brain really tight, mate, right at the back of my skull. Yeah.
And the irony is, you've spent some of this year playing one of the brainiest men in the history of the world. So maybe that's it. Maybe because you've been being Einstein in real life, you've had to compensate for that and go, I can count to square. I'm very clever. Yeah. I don't know, mate. I think we just have had this opportunity doing the podcast to kind of go, look what we do. Look what our lives are like. We're not bragging. We're not moaning. We're just being real and going, this is what it's like. Hopefully it's remained entertaining and interesting, and who knows, it may have been useful for people that are coming into the industry or struggling in the industry, or those who have no idea about it, or those that perhaps think they may want to have something to do with it one day. And equally, those that are already in it, hopefully they listen or watch and go, that's
I get you, lads.
Exactly it. At least these two idiots are out there sort of putting voice to it to make some people more aware. At the end of the day, it's nice to have a chat, and I guess it's venting, but just, I don't know, looking at things and going, this is what life is like.
It's a time to reflect. It's time to look back over your shoulder with a mate in a nice, friendly environment. Yeah, with friendly, supportive listeners and viewers. That's what it is.
Exactly. And obviously always grateful for the support we get, because that equally is another thing that keeps us doing what we do. And actually, mate, I think we've probably hit a point where it's time to make an announcement. What do you reckon? Yeah.
I think you might be right there, Sam. I think you might be right there.
We've obviously spent some of this episode talking about being incredibly busy, and how finding time to fit things in is very important. Equally, downtime and relaxation. You talked about how you don't want to spread yourself too thin and lower the quality of things. We have come to the decision that Drewling Samantics is going to take a very short holiday.
Little break.
Yes. Essentially, we were going to have a couple of weeks this year, towards the end of this year, where we weren't going to be releasing episodes anyway, because where they fell in the calendar meant that people would have much more important things to be doing than listening to us, which is absolutely fine, because equally we'll be with our families and our loved ones, and probably wouldn't have the time to release episodes anyway. But to add to that, we've made the decision that actually this season this is the last episode of the season anyway that isn't one of our best ofs. We still have best of guests next week, and the following week we have best of us. We still have the best of episodes, so please do check them out. This was always going to be the last episode of season 6. However, we've made the decision that season 7 will start in 2023. Rather than being quite late into this year, we're going to add a couple of extra weeks off for multiple reasons. One, as we've been talking about, to have that little bit of downtime, although it won't be because both of us have got incredibly busy Christmas periods coming up. But equally, we want to take some time to get some stuff sorted ready for next season. Rather than going straight in and trying to do it as we go, we're going to take the time, we're going to set some stuff up. We wanted a couple of extra weeks to really get things ready to go, I think is probably the way to explain it. I think when we looked at our calendars, and as we said earlier, I don't want to compromise. We don't want to compromise the quality of what we do of Drewling Samantics, and I think we love it so much, and we know we get great feedback, and we know people out there in growing numbers are enjoying it. So I think from our point of view, it's yes, we do have busy schedules, so let's not crowbar the podcast in. Let's give it its quality, its quantity, and its breathing space to be as good as we can possibly make it. Yeah. So rather than doing things by halves, we are going to give it time we'll reflect, collect, and be back even better and stronger in the new year, I think. Yes, indeed. So as said, this is the final normal, shall we say, episode of season 6. Thank you so much, everyone, for the past 13 weeks. As you say, Drew, the numbers have been growing and growing, and it's just so heartwarming that so many people are interested and enjoying, and the comments and messages and feedback we get, just brilliant. Equally massive thank you to all our guests this season. Next week, you'll see the best bits of them, so we'll talk more about them then. But I think the important thing is that we're not going anywhere. No. We will be back. So some important dates. So next Sunday is the Best of Guests episode. Please do tune in for that. Some highlights from the 6 wonderful guests or 6 wonderful guest episodes from this season. Brilliant. Just we've already started looking back through them and had such a laugh looking back over some of the stuff. Brilliant. So that is it's the 13th of November, isn't it, that one is released?
It is indeed.
The following week, the 20th of November, is some highlights of yours truly and yours without hair there. So the two of us, just basically a collection of insults, really.
Basically,
to an hour of us insulting each other. So don't miss that one either. And then we are away until the 8th of January 2023.
However, there will be social media alerts every now and again, just to keep you in the loop, everyone. So do keep checking. And
equally, we can't let Picnic go to sleep. He's got to have some work to do, despite us being elsewhere. But we'll keep him busy as well.
We'll keep him busy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, wherever you are in the world, wherever you've been listening or watching, an enormous thank you from me and Drew, and for everyone that's involved in Drewling Samantics. Please do tune in next week. Please do tune in the week after. But then we will see you in 2023. So thank you. Here's some fluorescent pink stuff.
And some black coffee.
Take it easy. We'll see you next season. Cheers.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks again for watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video.
Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app. And please support us on social media. All our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so why not share with your family and friends so they can join in too? Thanks very much. See you next time.